right, nice job. Good set. Let's do some social kick.
The team and our administration had worked out. So,
Just because you can't get all the classes and everything for.
well,
yeah.
everybody got on like a 5-year track
Oh, okay.
because trying to get 30 hours a year was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, but you could slice it up a lot of different ways, and so the guarantee was like you get your 5th year for free, and then it was like an evaluation of like progressing through it over the 4 years.
That's a lot. I didn't realize there's that many intricacies.
It's a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I remember talking to Tom Kramer, our senior year of high school, and he's like, and he just blurted out, "Oh, David Nolan doesn't get a full ride scholarship at Stanford." I'm like, what? So
yeah, I mean, I think a lot with scholarships, if the family or the person's coming from a family that maybe doesn't need it, or maybe they can be working on an academic scholarship or something else.
Financially,
they realize that 9.9 that is available for the team is pretty limited. So maybe they take one for the team and don't take as much, or somehow allocate other ways.
Yeah, and I mean, there's stories, like, I remember my freshman year, just learning about a story of Pat Calhoun, who was a Olympian in 2000 in the U.S. with 100 breaststroke, and he gave up his scholarship his senior year to give it to somebody else to have more people on the team, because he just said, "Look, I want to win," and at that point he was going into his senior year not having won, and the class before him was the last class to win.
Sure.
So basically, they won in '99. He was a freshman in 2000, and so he wasn't on a winning team. And then it was coming up in the year of 2003, going like, "This is my senior year. We got to win," and feeling the pressure of the first class to go through without an NCAA win. Gave up his scholarship.
This is Auburn.
They ended up winning,
Oh, okay.
and that was the first of the string of
Interesting.
5 titles for Auburn. And so, but I mean, so there's stuff like that too, where it's like, well, maybe an athlete just comes in and says, I'm taking it for the team. I'm good, like, and it's kind of counter to the way a lot of other sports operate when you have the ability to just do that thing, because you have scholarship sports and or full scholarship sports and partial scholarship sports with football and basketball and I don't know which other sports are fulls, but I mean swimming's partial, so you can slice it up a number of ways.
Definitely. So what we're talking about here is just scholarships and things like that, because Brian was talking about how he really loves seeing everyone verbally commit on all these swimming websites. Brian, you want to dive deep into your love of seeing about every kid?
Happy to hear about it, Brian.
This is the thing. Everybody. I don't. Maybe just times have changed a lot, but I think it's. I don't know. Yeah, I find it kind of annoying.
I guess simple as that, huh?
So let me digress a little bit, Brian. Back in your day, how did people publicize that they committed to school?
Okay, so what we do, and I think this is still done, but you had like a media day in high school.
Yep.
Where you'd have a signing day,
Yep,
and
signing day.
there was a I don't know, a card table with some balloons, maybe some streamers.
Yeah, maybe like $10 put into this event.
Yeah, it was like
right?
it was like
maybe $9.
It was like you were getting confirmed in a church or a bar mitzvah or something. Like you had your parents
Oh my God.
and your coaches there, and maybe like some of your teachers. You had like your high school swim coach who wasn't really your coach, and then you had your actual swim coach there.
Yep.
Yeah.
For every one of us who's not from the state of Ohio and didn't
Local
really
media,
into
were
high
they
school.
there too to like interview you, see how you felt, and you felt like a big star at the time?
Actually, yeah, we'd have the Marietta Daily Journal.
There you go. Dayton Daily News.
Maybe a camera just like this in front of you if you're really lucky.
Yeah. I'd have a nice like black and white photo in the local newspaper.
Awkward as shot as possible.
Lundquist signs.
Lundquist inks to Auburn.
John
But now-
was the same way. Oh,
Now,
sorry.
I mean, I don't know where the source comes from, but now it's like I just feel like everybody's parent, is like so excited to, email the swimming news people
my
and get there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the parents or coaches
I
or
don't
the
know.
kids
Yeah.
or maybe, I don't know, do kids just post stuff on Instagram and these news outlets are kind of scanning stuff?
I think
or
that's what it is.
that's
swimming
Yeah.
hashtag and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Because
Basically.
content's king, that's for sure. And hey, if you post something about little Billy from Idaho, at least Billy's parents and team and teammates are going to share it.
Right.
So it's going to get some views and
Yeah,
some clicks and
absolutely.
some turnover, no matter how relevant or irrelevant the individual or swimmer is, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because now they cover like this person committed to not just a Division I school, but all the way down to like the smallest Division
Everything.
III school. Yeah, everything, and it's like
Everything.
it becomes a full-on news article in the swim outlets. And
And it's
Yeah.
verbal commitments too.
Yeah.
Like we were talking
Yeah.
a little bit about that, how verbals and in all honesty, I think we're all showing our age a little. We might need to even review the recruiting rules nowadays on how it all operates. But so many kids will verbally commit before their senior year when they're younger and younger, and it's like, how many of those are actually staying there? Whether it's the
Right.
teen pulls it out because they see little Billy hasn't improved in 2 years, or if the swimmer's just like, all right, I changed my mind. I was 15 years old. What the heck do I know?
So
Yeah.
how come we haven't gotten to our first swimmer, like elite high school swimmer, who does a live stream of their signing,
oh my god,
and then they've got like the hats or like the swim caps on the table?
I feel
and
like
it's
that's
got,
been
like-
done.
The decision.
It's got like the 5 top caps on the table,
Oh,
and then they're like, "I'm committed to Cal."
Change my mind. Stanford.
Yeah, they fake it out.
It's very much
Where's-
a
how come that
football
hasn't
move,
happened
right? Or
Yeah.
even a basketball with the caps, right?
Right,
They
yeah.
put on a ball cap, but I don't know. Who would watch this? I guess
I don't know
let's
whoever watches
say
this.
this. Maybe if Michael Andrew would have gone to college,
Potentially, maybe.
Maybe-
Yeah.
that would have drawn. I'm like trying to think of who's like a high school swimmer that's had so much interest. Back to your buddy
A lot
to
of them. I mean,
Ever.
Ledecky and
Yeah, I
Reagan
guess
Smith.
yeah.
and
Yeah, I guess
whatever.
you're right.
They
Yeah.
just slide under the radar. Like,
Yeah.
how sweet would that be if
It
they
just
were
goes,
like,
yeah, Stanford.
it's an open
Yeah.
free agency,
Yeah.
It's a competition.
It is almost
Even
like
if the
free agency,
females
though, I
pick
feel
Stanford
like,
every
yeah.
time, they could at least have them all out there
Yeah.
just for entertainment value.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would you watch that?
Depends, I guess, on the swimmer, but I would probably say no, to be
Yeah.
clearly honest. Just, I don't know, I just feel like,
You'd watch the clips, though.
I watched the clip.
You know you'd watch that.
Yeah, I watched like the 1 minute clip of like, oh, this person picked the hat or whatever, but I don't know if I'd be that interested. And just to kind of dial back, John, was it kind of the same way back in the day? You have a media day or the ink
Yeah, it
signing
was
day?
exactly the same. That's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I remember
Mhm.
signing the papers at home and then doing a little something at school.
Mhm.
And yeah, we did it with all the winter sport athletes. So it was like a couple of basketball players and swimmers and things like that at my school.
Everybody's there on the same day.
Yeah. So they
yeah,
tried to do it. So
Yeah.
I think ours was more internal school. We didn't have like club. I don't even know if parents went to it at the school. It was just more like it was the coaches of those teams, the swimmers, and some administration, and then some weird photographer there from, like I said, I think the Dayton Daily News.
Yeah, but you know what's cool about it?
What?
You got to get out of school.
Yeah, it was like a few hours there. You're like,
Senior
hey.
year, yeah, not a bad
Hey,
gist.
and I'll say this about high school sports, at least in Ohio, where, it was like, hey, people getting some recognition, right, from the school where people are like, oh, you're actually good at your sport. Swimming is one of those sports people don't really know if you're any good. They're like, oh, wow, you got a scholarship to Purdue, to Auburn. You must be pretty good. And you're like, yeah, I'm a lot better than you other athletes that are going to Podunk University.
That's so true. I
Right?
had this.
Yeah.
So the spring of my senior year, I was on what at the time what they called minimum day. So I'd taken enough credits. I had enough to graduate, so I only had to take the minimum you could take was 5 classes, and we were on hours, so it wasn't like the full longer classes.
Yep.
So you had 7 periods in a day, which included a lunch. So what I did, my schedule, I had like a couple of core classes, and then my day ended with 2. I don't know how I was able to do this. Like 2 PE classes, but they were both weightlifting.
This is in high
So
school?
this is in high school. I had weightlifting and weightlifting back to back.
Dang.
But because I was like not lifting weights per my swimming program,
Sure.
all I was doing in there was like pull-ups and abs or med balls.
Mirror
But
workout.
I didn't actually like, yeah, and you had all these other high school kids that would hop on the bench every day.
Sure.
they would go. The first thing they would do is just like put 135 on the bar.
Bam.
Okay,
Numbers
now
call itself.
put 2 donuts on. All right, we're gonna do. And like the same guys trying to max at 315 like every week.
Oh man.
But so I had this. The wrestling coach was my weightlifting teacher, and his name was Coach Day, and he was real good friends with Coach Bear, who was one of the football coaches.
Interesting.
And those 2 guys would always come in and play basketball with us, and so it was like you would do other things besides weightlifting, and I don't know. Those guys would just like set picks, but like
real
maul
educational
people.
high school year for you here, Brian.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but so
Coach Bear and Coach Day.
yeah, but I mean, so like any PE class, you're like
Put 'em
graded
together, Day
on
Bear,
whatever
Day.
you do. Like, how many pull-ups can you do by then? Can you do it properly?
Yeah.
I don't know. And but I got out of so many things because I had like a get out of like a sick pass or whatever. Like,
Sure.
I couldn't. I was going to practice, and so. My coach, or my PE teacher, Coach Day, he was always like kind of just looking down on me. And every time he would see me, he'd call roll out loud,
Yeah.
and I'd say like present or here, and he would just give me this funny look.
Conquest.
Until I got back from states and the state high school meets in February.
Yep.
And I got back and I won state, and I came back in that day, and I'll never forget this. He looks at me and he goes, "State champ, huh?" I go, "Yes, sir." He goes, "All right."
He's like, I knew this weights class was working out for you.
And like I was immediately validated in that moment.
You're good over there, man.
Right, just do what you gotta do.
Because to be honest, like there weren't that many state champs. Like we had
For sure. I mean,
we had
that's
some
a
good
big
high
deal.
school sports.
That's a
Our
big
baseball
deal.
program was
State champ.
good, but like suddenly it was like, oh, like
Especially
Who is this guy?
you're nominated for most athletic.
Especially like state of Georgia is like pretty deep culture of swimming. Like, is it the whole state basically? Sorry, I'm
Yeah, it's the whole state.
Yeah, okay, the whole state. Yeah.
It's the whole state, but I mean, in my era,
Excuse me, state of Georgia.
No, it's. Well, excuse California. California's got their own
yeah,
weird
it's
high
all
school
split up.
system. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
have a state meet now.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
still kind
Not
of
everyone
second or
goes to the
third
state
year.
meet.
It's still
Yeah.
getting traction. But yeah, I think almost
Yeah.
every other state. The whole. I mean, there might be different divisions, but
Right,
it's
yeah.
the whole state's there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like Chanteau was swimmer of the year before I was. I think
Big
he and
deal,
Mike
yeah.
Kaufman, who were both like real good at the time.
Yep.
But
But that's interesting with the classes. That just makes me remember, like, I didn't take one PE class in high school because you could get a PE credit
Whoa.
if you did a varsity
Oh,
or no, if
yeah.
you did a
A
sport.
sport,
If
yeah.
you just did
Yeah.
a high school sport. So we had like 100 girls on our high school swim team because none of them wanted to do PE.
Wow.
So one day a week, Friday morning, 5:30 practice, we would have probably 150 people in an 8-lane, 25-yard
Oh
pool.
God.
And that's the
practicing
only
together.
morning practice you ever wanted to go to?
Yes. We would just do like
I'm in
relay starts.
heaven.
Like if you were good, we just went lane 1 and did relay starts. Because how can you do it? You used to have people like walking in the pool. There's so
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah.
Then we go to Bagel Cafe and hang out afterwards. But yeah, it's interesting how every state is so different with PE and their requirements and things like that. But it sounds like Coach Day really did a good number on you getting to the state championship.
Well, then from then on, I could like actually start doing a training program. And
Yeah.
I remember like writing Durden, who was like the guy who recruited me at Auburn, and then he just told me to cool it. He's like, no, you don't need to do anything yet. I'll just see you in the fall.
It's like, please don't hurt
Like,
yourself,
alright,
man.
fine.
It's like I want a healthy athlete, not a broken athlete.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, I mean, but most of the PE and like training classes that we had like that were pretty. I mean, I guess it wasn't like core to what the class actually was.
Sure.
You can kind of fudge it. It's kind of like masters practice. You can do whatever you want in masters swimming. You
That
pretty
is
much
very
do that in
true.
high school. Like if you were a pretty good athlete, you could get away with anything in a PE class in high
I
school.
believe that.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. Real quick, what are we drinking, gentlemen?
Oh, this is the what is KSA, John? Oh, it's a Fort Point Beer Company. Is the brewery, and it's the KSA, the Kolsch Style Ale.
How do you like it?
I've never heard of a KSA. Maybe that puts me behind the times, but I generally drink lagers and IPAs. I quite like it. I was heading
Yeah.
toward a lighter night tonight, and this is a 4.6%er. So it's not quite Utah beer at 3.2,
Utah beer.
but it's pretty good.
All right, I got my trusty 40-ounce core water bottle.
Tell us about the water.
The water tastes
Where did you source this water?
out of core physical therapy and personal training.
All right, only the finest.
Only the finest. If you want to be
You
able to have
should
some
know
good
where-
longevity in the sport of swimming, core water bottle.
All right, and
What about you, John?
I'm drinking a Mind Haze IPA from Firestone Walker Brewing Company.
Is your mind a little hazy right now?
Always. Always.
You're pretty
always,
well
always.
merchandised, actually. You've got a lot of colors of blue, and that can is also a lot of colors of blue.
No, this wasn't just an accident. This whole ensemble here, everything was orchestrated. Every
Really?
single bit.
You want
Man,
to tell
what a
them
day.
what was specifically orchestrated? What you're
Sure, we
wearing?
were getting to this earlier with my wife, who is a swim coach, and I'm wearing these trusty.
Speedo.
I guess we can do it. Luke's not here to say we can't have any advertising or brand notice.
Wait, hold on.
I don't care.
Luke, what are you drinking? Oh, wait. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, Luke's not here again. Where is he now? Do we know where Luke is?
I
Where
think
in
he's
the
in
world
New
is
York.
New
Luke's
York
on the
now?
East Coast. I know
I
that.
think he's in New York, so hopefully Luke's doing all right out there. But anyways, back to these beautiful pants. So, my wife gave me these pants because they're too big for her. They're too long for her. And they're too long on me, so I'm wearing female pants.
It's
End
a
of
nice
story.
cut.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Thanks for telling that story.
Yeah, hey, you requested it, I believe, so that was that. We can dive deep into maybe a B-roll one time.
You know, well, I'm pretty sure we're on B-roll right now.
No, this might be C-roll.
That's not what B-roll is. But, yeah, so the beard that you're dealing with right now is long enough that when you dribble a little bit with your beard, it just hangs out on there, which...
Nice.
Did you train with a beard much? Like swimming?
Yeah, I mean, when we would do a few months no shave, maybe like January to March in college, or maybe December, like around December training. So yeah, I would grow out the beard pretty much every couple months in college. It would maybe get close to this, I'd say.
You know, I definitely did.
Yeah, all that drag you have.
I know, right?
God,
Just wait.
Tell us about it.
So actually, the first time I did No Shave November my sophomore year, I got made fun of, and everyone was telling me, get rid of it. It looks so ugly.
Why'd you get made fun of?
Because it's just patchy and doesn't really grow. Maybe if we're filming in November, some people might notice if I try it again.
You gotta start growing it out, man.
I think I might have to this
Also,
weekend.
do you think it's cheating in No Shave November, or it's Movember too? Which one is it? Is it No Shave November or
It's
Movember?
November.
I agree, it's
Either-
Movember.
Either
So,
or.
as
I
long
don't
as
know.
we have that established. You got to start from the ground up, right? It's a clean shave
Start over.
up, right? You can't like ease your way into it.
I don't know the rules, in all honesty.
Well,
I think what I have done in the past is start from a clean shave. And is it one where you just grow a beard and then you shave a mustache, or you're supposed to just have a mustache?
no, you start with the mustache.
Well,
clean shave,
Clean
go
shave.
straight into the
And
mustache.
then you just grow a mustache, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
I'm just
shave.
gonna do the mustache in here if I can get anything, and then the sides are. I don't want patches.
I think it's a bold move. It takes a real man to be able to grow the mustache from the ground up.
The mustache for me is also
Or
patchy.
or a real weird man.
I might be in the latter
I've
category.
seen some weird pics of people with mustaches.
But
on
the thing
Instagram.
about swimming with the beard is I would
You
always
feel the flow.
I would always forget to. It never bothered me in the pool, but I would always forget to dry it all the way off.
Oh yeah, it's
And then I'd inevitably like be eating dinner somewhere fully clothed after, and then I'm like, why is my shirt wet?
yeah. No, I definitely get the,
But then
it
the
dripping on me.
reverse side of that is when I would actually clean shave, and then I would train and maybe like 2 days of stubble, and you do like a long freestyle set. Yeah,
the
that
rub.
shoulder burn, like
Yep.
just like razor blades killing your shoulder.
Oof.
These are the kinds
One
of
day you'll
things.
find out about this big boy. Actually, I don't know. I've met Vin.
Yeah.
He can't grow a beard either.
No.
We were talking about beards. Your dad and I.
Really?
Yeah, last time I saw him, I don't know why. I think he said something like, "Oh, you're growing a beard." I'm like, "Oh, yours next." And he's like, "This is as much as I got."
A beard's not very aquatic, but
Not at all.
man,
I think it's.
it's just so not.
It's in
just so
sport
good.
though. I mean,
It's
we
a rite
talk-
of passage.
It's a funny thing, like hair and swimming, right? I mean, we obviously have the shaving down for meets, which is its own thing. Then we have the bleaching of the hair, which is pretty common, at least in high school swimming culture and things like that. Then you have the growing the beard. But I think like growing the beard is very much like a playoff beard type of thing. Like you're kind of getting ready for championship season.
Like
so maybe not just swimming.
Yeah.
But it is funny that there's
I
all these
wouldn't
little
change my
oddities.
underwear too, but
Yeah, I mean,
Wow, Brian.
I didn't really do that.
I mean, you live in a van. I assume you don't change underwear now, right? I mean,
You don't even need it.
John, did you dye the hair back in the day, or?
oh, and we bleached our hair
I didn't do that.
every
Yeah.
high school season. I mean, we had a pretty strong and insane high school culture, where we would bleach everything. We'd have, we used to have. So what did we have? Maybe like 40. Thanks, man. 40, 50 guys on our high school swim team every year, and before.
That's a big high school swim team.
I mean, my high school, my class was what, 650? My class, so we had a big high school.
Okay, I had about the same size.
A big public
Yeah.
high school.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I went private, so I was tiny.
Yeah, so anyway, so we had a big public high school, and then every year before a league meet, we did a sleepover at someone's house. Every guy on the team.
Yeah, did you
sleepover.
car blood while you were there?
Oh, we went car blood, we did a shaving party, we did the bleaching
A
party.
shaving and
that's
bleaching party.
That's
Yep.
very intimate, right
It
there.
was, and we would try
Wow.
to convince people to, underclassmen most of the time, to bleach their eyebrows and things like
Oh
this.
my
Really have
goodness.
some fun with it. And we probably got a few people every year to bleach their eyebrows, and we'd all bleach our hair, and I don't know. Like I said, it's funny how at least a lot of this hair stuff is in the culture of the sport.
Now,
Yeah,
I
that is a
know
weird thing, yeah.
We're trying to stick with high school tradition. Doesn't Auburn have a tradition as well, where all the guys bleach their hair as well?
Yeah, so we would go back and forth between bleaching and dyeing it black.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
And it started because, well, actually, I don't know the original reason why they bleached their hair. I should ask Brett.
I think
but
I saw a video on Flow, so I mean, he said it had to do with one of their first championships or
How
something.
many
like that.
hours?
It
you spent
was-
on
it was-
swimming?
Good hour. The other day when I found his video, actually,
Still?
I was like, "Are they
I
still?"
was shocked they still have those videos. Were they on YouTube, or is there still Flow Swimming?
They're still
website?
Flow Swimming. Shout out to Flow Swimming. They do a good job, actually. I like their stuff.
What, they
'Cause
post new stuff?
I think they do, actually. I only looked at the old
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like,
Yeah.
So I think Flow
no
Swimming,
offense.
Flow Swimming came back for like a little bit, like during my gap year between like 2014 2015, but then still not as relevant.
Yeah, because I think that's when Burkle went back to it and was running it with the Florianis.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we had a tradition of bleach. So the years that we would bleach though was when we went to Minnesota, because that was the year. The '97 team was the first Auburn men's championship,
Oh, gotcha.
and they bleached their hair in Minnesota that year and won.
Gotcha.
And so anytime it was back in Minnesota, we would bleach. So
Interesting.
my senior year, no, my sophomore and my senior year, that was 05 and 07, we bleached it. And then the other years it was black, which I already have dark hair, so it didn't mean anything to me.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I dyed my hair black.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a funny thing, like get people to dye their hair, but it's a similar kind of thing. Actually, it wasn't like everybody on the team get together, but you'd have like little pockets of
Yeah.
guys having a little.
Get together with your
Yes,
house
hair
or
dyeing
whatever.
party.
And then people
I
show
mean-
up, and then eventually everyone would do it, basically, or is that how it would pretty much go down for you
Uh,
guys? Or
Well, it wouldn't all be in the same place,
Mhm.
but yeah, we would dye it before you travel. Most everybody, yeah, before you travel to the meet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. It was all right.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm a blonde.
Yeah. I
But,
would have done
uh,
it for the team spirit part of it. We never did that, but hey,
I thought it was.
team
I thought
spirit's
it was really
important.
fun to just like have something that everybody does.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Yeah, I mean-
I don't know. There's different things
Yeah.
like that too. Like some teams have everybody gets the tattoo. You've got some
Mhm.
teams that like they draw something on themselves.
I got my head shaved, but I had to
Okay.
wear. I think I might have covered this in a previous episode, but for a full week, the freshmen or the rookies had to wear different haircuts. So I had like half my hair cut off, and then the other half with like other head of hair. So me and my other teammate, we took one class, so we both showed up with beanies. So we did it on a Sunday night,
Uh-huh.
and we showed up. We both had beanies on Monday class. We looked at each other, we're like, hide it until you got to go to the cafeteria.
The Colin Farrell look, the beanie in the warm season.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
Looking
this,
sharp.
this is my freshman year of college, so this was actually in February, right before our conference championship.
Oh, in
Yeah.
the middle of the year.
Middle of
That
the
was
year,
the beginning.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we lucked out a little bit.
Yeah, it would have been cold there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but then you just shave off your whole head right before conference.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the John? Have you ever done the full head shave?
I did my junior year in high school, so I was probably one of the favorites to win the 1500 free, 50 and the 100 free at high school states.
I was about to say, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
not the
When you were
1500.
doing distance, I've seen
no,
you swim distance.
Yeah, it gets
And
ugly.
it takes a long
I've
time.
done pace.
Sundial out, man.
I've done pace training with you, and it's like, John.
No, thank you. But anyway, so I shaved it, bicked it all the way down, and then I got so sick at that states meet, I was on the toilet. This is a pretty good story. So I was on the toilet like the whole meet, like losing fluids from both ends, not feeling good. And I was maybe like 140 pounds at the time.
Jeez.
And this was at...
And you weren't a diver.
Not a diver. And this was at the Canton... I think Canton High School, and it's a big public high school up in Canton, and the bathrooms there don't have doors on them, on the
Oh
stalls.
my
Oh.
god.
They're like behind the corner, so you have to like go and like check like that to see if someone's in there, because I think they're like wall to floor, and people, you know, I was pretty good in Ohio, so I knew a lot of people there, and they're like, "Oh, I just already seen that the bathroom's open. John, are you okay?" And I'm just like vomiting, then back and forth.
Oh
then I
my gosh.
added almost like a second in the 50 free at that
Oh
meet because I
my
was just like
gosh.
so
Dead.
sick.
Oh,
And
jeez.
yeah, got to see everyone, and I would think at the time I was still rocking a, Aqua Blade or like size 22 brief, so I'm like taking that little thing on and off, and just running back and forth to that bathroom. Oh, that was a miserable meet.
That's a legendary.
And we would bus up to this event. It was like a 4-hour bus ride or a 5-hour bus.
Oh, that must have been rough.
And we had to bus back on Sunday, and I was just like still sick on this thing.
That sucks.
Oh, it was a rough trip.
I had one that was alcohol induced, but I had a real rough
What, head
travel
shaving
trip.
or being sick?
No, I first NCAAs was 05, and we won. And the NCAAs at Minnesota, the team there would have this Animal House style house. I mean, it's like sick, like out of a movie house party going on where. Like everybody at the meet would get together and have a party after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a Big Ten, and they would.
We kind of knew it was like
too,
the
yeah.
Minnesota house.
Yep.
I have no idea like whose house that was or who actually lived there, but yeah. But like everybody after the meet went, and so let's just say that there was some beers, and I had a rough day on the flight back, and I remember. I'm not gonna go too deep in it, but I just remember that like travel day from hell.
Rough one, huh?
Yeah, like
that's
sit
a
in the
rough
back
one.
of the plane, of course, like buy some food, need to get food in me, and just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
No, I think those are always memorable experiences when you're not feeling your best and having to compete or whatnot. Have you ever had meets like that, Justin, where you've been under the weather or?
I think I've had a few under the weather. I remember my sophomore year, I definitely swam back-to-back meet. Definitely feeling very under the weather, like pretty harsh cold. And then, I was just trying to tough it out. I mean, it wasn't as dramatic as you guys' story. And then my coach goes to me, he's like, "You're sick." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And he goes, "You're trying to hide it. Don't come to practice on Monday." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like noted.
I'm sick of being at practice.
So your attitude.
And I was like, "But I want to go." And he was like, "No, I know you care, but don't come."
Yeah.
But that's as good as my story gets, though.
Well, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Not gonna lie. How about private school traditions or things like that? How many kids were on your high school swim team?
Actually, we had a good chunk. It was a little different because we were more known as a water polo. High school, I went to Sacred Heart Prep in Atherton, California, so we were more of a high school team. So you have a majority of the kids being polo players, but the surprising thing is how good the polo players were at swimming. Actually, they're pretty good sprinters. I think we had a couple guys, I think down in the 21.5s, 21.0s. Like that's pretty respectful. That went pretty fast. And then actually they would even be swimming like our A relays at like I never made CCS, but I know they would swim at CCS as well. But we didn't really have that many traditions actually because it's kind of split between the water polo team and the club swimmers. So it wasn't as deep as a tradition. I think you guys have a better experience in terms of the high school swimming experience for sure. That at least I can recall on. When I got into college, especially the first 2 years, we definitely kept up with our traditions a whole lot right before our conference championships, and then I took the gap year. But other than that, not that exciting.
One of the things that was always a rite of passage for high school swimming is at the beginning of the year, there were 2 dryland workouts that you had to go to and like run stadium stairs and do push-ups and
Dun dun dun.
like all of the things that for sure get you ready to swim fast.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday morning.
2 hours of
And-
stadiums and the ultimate swimming specific exercise.
Yeah.
And you get your sweats that are for some reason
Yep.
numbered in sequential order.
I never. So, yeah.
Our Purdue college sweats are numbered.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
ours
I think
were
I
too
put
for like
like
2
two like
years.
dorm room on them. I think we gotta pick the number. I'm like, oh, room
Like-
109.
Oh, I don't want to be number 47. It's boring.
My senior year, I finally got a park. We finally had like parkas given out, and I was like, "Why is there a number?" But it was like number 42. And that year, the Warriors were wearing number 42 because of a. Now I feel bad as a Warriors fan. But who were they?
Come on now.
Oh, times are that great,
Nate
huh?
Thurman. Nate Thurman. And I was like, "Okay, I got to be part of the Golden State Warriors crew." Yes.
With my swimming parka.
Yeah, with my
I'm
swimming
really
parka.
fitting in here with the Warriors.
Yeah, that is not even the same color as the Warriors scheme, and I never wore it.
I don't know.
And when they picked up their sweats, I didn't even pick up my sweats either.
Yeah.
Do you still keep your like any gear from high school and college swimming?
I gave up most of my gear. I still have a couple. Like our last year, we had the ability to get like Adidas sweats in college, so those were expensive. So I held on to those, but I gave one away to one of my King Aquatic teammates at my last practice there. And I think high school, I still have a few sweatshirts, but I have mostly club stuff still because those were pretty expensive. But I did give away a pretty good chunk of everything. Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I got way too much stuff, and I'm about to downsize and move into a tiny house, so I gotta.
You got a lot
Hold
to
on,
work
hold on,
through.
hold on.
I
I
got
thought
way
I
too
was going to
many
move into
things.
the cargo unit.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I don't. You know, now I have an outfit for football. I don't know. I keep a fair number of things. I was also on the staff at Auburn for a couple of years, so I got a bunch of gear that way, and so yeah, I keep a bunch of
You
stuff.
have any high school
but
stuff?
I don't wear it all.
Huh? You have any high school stuff?
No,
See, I don't
Honestly,
think I have
I don't
any high
think-
school stuff anymore either.
not
I wish
well,
I
not here. I think I have some that's like in a closet in my parents' house, but I don't think I have any. I don't have any high school stuff here.
Letterman jacket.
I never got a letter jacket.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Yeah, we
I
never
should
had
have,
that.
but not from neither. And like
I guess yeah.
I remember I could have gotten the letter jacket from Auburn, and
Yeah.
it was cool. I really liked it, and I wanted to go get it. And I went to go get it from our equipment like guy
Sure.
a couple times, and they were like always out of my size.
Is
They
it
like
just,
didn't have anything even close, and so it was just became a nuisance. And I had this like printout letter that I could take to him to get my letter jacket.
Yeah.
And every time I went, it was just like, no,
No.
we'll
We're
let you know when they're back. And then now I just don't have a letter jacket.
how did it work at Auburn? Like every year, did you get something else like for a letter?
Yeah, you got
Oh, yeah.
you got a physical letter that was a Letterman's letter. I don't know what
Okay.
it was,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like
Oh,
here's
yeah.
your letter,
Mine was
and
a little
you get
different.
something for it.
Yeah.
There was I do have a blanket.
Yeah, we got ours went. I think jacket, blanket, watch, ring.
Watch
wow,
ring.
you got
Okay.
a ring. Jeez.
Yeah. But the watch, the battery that has died like 50. Everyone I know
Oh,
on the
really?
team, the battery doesn't last. Carlene, my wife, like sent this thing in to get it fixed multiple times for me because I liked it. I thought it looked good, and I don't know. I need a watch when I work, and it just dies.
Every time.
Always
No.
freaking dies. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
what were you saying you got?
Well, I think there was a ring too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think I've really ever worn my ring.
Well, yeah,
Like
and
a class ring almost? Like a.
Kind of, it just
it's
like
kind of
has
I mean,
a
it's
P
kind of
on
classic looking. I
Yeah,
liked it. It was,
it's a classic
I mean,
ring.
it was the most wearable of the stuff. I actually, what's funny is like that ended up the jewelry that I wore the most, and I mean they're all fake, but like I
it. Yeah,
had
the rope.
But we
gold
won.
rope.
I mean, we won NCAAs and SECs all 4 years that I was at Auburn. So I
Wow.
got like a
lot of
watch
gear.
for SECs and
Wow.
a ring for NCAAs. And like if you won individually, which I didn't, but if you won like an event, and I was on some relays that won, you didn't get anything for
Yeah.
that.
Well,
By the team.
No, because there was no like individual ring.
Oh,
you know, it was like
gotcha.
the team wins or doesn't.
Gotcha.
And
So you,
but
you have the 4 rings then, or
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
And I
pretty
actually
cool.
have a fifth. Well, I lost my 04 ring. I still,
Oh.
yeah. And then, but then I was on the staff in 09, so I have
Okay.
that one. So I have 4 now, but I should have 5. But the watch that I ended up wearing most of the time was the NCAA gives you like a standard issue watch that looks like the trophy.
What?
Kind of. So it's like the gold face, or at least it was at the time. But there was like the face was gold and it looks just like it does on the trophy, like
What?
NCAA.
That's pretty cool.
And with like a black leather band, and
That's
I
pretty
would wear that one more than anything else.
Anything else you got?
Yeah, actually, I was advocating for in senior class, you get to pick whatever you want. And my vote was for SECs to do a pocket watch.
There you go.
Watch.
Keep it classy, Brian.
I got voted down.
That's
That's what I wanted. Everybody else wanted a classic watch. I thought it was boring.
Well, you guys already have enough of them, it sounds like.
Well, that's what I
gotta
was.
find
I
that
mean,
04
How many
ring,
watches
man.
do you
Okay,
need
so-
that are more or less the same thing?
All right, I'll give the kids story. So when I was like a good child swimmer, I think Luke said on the podcast once, it was 16 second 25 free. So it's like pretty good as a 6-year-old, and but like so that meant I was good at summer league and I would win summer league meets.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I was losing races later, but like I was a good kid. And so you get all the ribbons from the summer league meets, and I'd put all my ribbons in a shoebox under my bed.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the ribbons were together in the same shoebox. And I remember when I was like maybe 10, my mom was the coordinator of the swim team. And I said, Mom, can they change the color of the first place ribbon to something other than blue? Because I'm tired of blue.
I'm sick of blue. This blue box is old. I had a
such a
shoebox
jerk.
ribbon.
I didn't mean it that
too.
way. I was literally just like, I want a different color.
Just don't even know better, right?
Yeah.
I know better.
She liked
Oh,
to tell
man.
that story.
Yeah, definitely. So, what type of stuff did you ever get? Anything in Division 3, or what type of gear did you get there?
Let me recall here. So we got like some stuff, like we got a jacket and stuff like that, but we
Alright.
never got a Letterman jacket. But I think your first year, I can't
So
remember.
what jacket did you get?
It was just like a rain
Windbreaker?
jacket, like a windbreaker.
It's like, hey, welcome to
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah, welcome
You're
to
gonna
Seattle.
need
The
this.
sweatpants, like I think
There's a poncho.
I think we all
rains
lost our
here.
sweatpants. We had to return it, but I never gave back my jacket. But let me try to remember. I think based on the 4 years you swim, I think you get like a letter that says like UPS, and you get like a certificate, a coin your 3rd year, and then the 4th year you swim, you get like a blanket. And I think I've misplaced all of those. I think I know where the certificate is standing on like a desk in the kitchen, and then the coin is in this cabinet. I don't remember. Oh, and the letters are also in the same cabinet, but I don't remember where my blanket is.
So what's up with the blanket gifts? I mean, ours was like made of like Letterman jacket material, like very.
So-
Oh, it's not
unusable.
it's not comfortable. It's
Like,
not
why
comfortable.
is this
Let's
a
be real
staple?
here.
Did you guys have? So one of my earlier swimming memories was like meets that I would go to as a kid. So you'd have the zones meet,
Yeah.
and that was like
quad meet.
yeah,
all
it was
that
like
stuff,
an
yeah.
all-star meet.
Yep.
And then if you, we had a thing called Georgia All-Stars. So if you got like a certain level qualifying time, or your time was at like a certain level of nationally ranked, they used to have the stars system.
Okay.
Well, so I don't know if that was national or I was never at your level as a kid though. Like I was a
Yeah.
good kid, but weren't you on like top 16 and NAG
Yeah.
and stuff?
Mhm.
So I never got to that level.
Mhm.
So I don't know what some of these things were nationally, but we would anytime you made like Georgia All Stars, you get an All Star towel.
Oh, nice.
So like my closet was full of like every year you got an All Star towel and it's embroidered with your name on it.
Sure.
And, like my parents still have all those towels in their closet
Wow.
now. It's like we go to the beach, we're
Grab
laying
one
on
of the
All-Star
All-Star
towels.
Grab the 94 towel.
I think it's just
Good
like
year,
the thing.
94.
And then divers use the chamois, and for like a little bit, chamois were a thing for
In
kids
swimming,
and
yep.
swimming, and then
They gave them the
then-
chamois.
and then it like came and went like a pog fad, or I don't know. Yeah,
Just reference Pogs.
I did.
Justin, do you know what
Do you know what that is?
Nope.
But you know what it is.
Oh, I know. I used to have a whole sleeve of slammers, maybe. Slammers this big.
I have
Boom!
no,
Slam on you,
no
fool.
idea.
I have
Slam it
no
on
idea.
this fool.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oh my gosh, that's outstanding. What was your first video game system, Justin?
The Game Boy Color.
The Game Boy Color. I
Yes.
don't know what that
That
is.
I think it's just a Game Boy Color. That actually surprised.
So
It sounds
it was
older than I think.
So the
it
Game Boy
is.
Color, that's like where the first Pokemon game actually. So my first video game was actually Pokemon Yellow. Fun fact.
Whatever that is.
I don't know what that is, but
Shout out to Pokemon.
what when you travel to swim meets, would you guys like bring the video game system or do that, like play with your swimming buddies?
That got out of fashion for kids my age, but I would bring the laptop and just like watch movies.
Bring the laptop and watch movies?
In college, this is like college.
Oh, I
in
mean when you were a kid.
Oh, well, the Nintendo DS.
Bring the laptop.
Wow, you are from Atherton.
Yeah, no kidding. Excuse me, other 6-year-olds.
Oh,
Back in the day, no. It would be the Game Boy Advance or the then it was like the PlayStation Portable and the Nintendo DS. I was thinking about like college for some strange reason.
Brian, what was your first game
I was
console?
like playing Tetris.
I'm looking for my solitaire partner still.
No, the first one that we had was the original Nintendo.
Oh,
You
With
guys
like
had that?
Duck Hunt and everything, yeah.
nice.
Yeah, we never.
Never got into Zelda.
I got into Ocarina of Time on 64 for a little bit.
That's a good game.
But 64 was our first console. We weren't
Right.
allowed to have. My
Right.
dad was against video games for the longest time.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we had 64. Some good old
Actually,
Bond action,
yeah.
Mario Kart.
It always seems like
64
video
was
games.
also, yeah.
Video games like
Mhm.
a rite of passage for swimming.
Yeah.
And for the record, like I hate video games.
Sure.
But as like a
Yeah.
young kid, I played. I didn't play when I got to high school, college.
Yeah, I haven't
Later.
played at all.
But you have those pockets of dudes who are really into video games.
Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, cool. You know.
Yeah.
I just happen to be the guy like playing any of the shooter games, and I'm like the guy in the corner like can't steer.
Well, we would play Halo at Purdue, like Team Halo.
Oh,
and
right.
have
Oh
a
my
team
gosh.
upside downstairs, and I was like the idiot that went and chased the flag and got shot in the head. And went, I got the flag! I got the flag! Headshot! I got the flag! I got headshot!
So in high school, actually, when we went down to LA for a meet,
Yeah.
it was me and my brother. We played. So they re-released these old Pokemon games. They reinvented it for like newer graphics and added more content into it. It was me and my brother that played it, but then all of a sudden everyone wanted to play it, so they'd come to my brother and I for advice all the time. So it was Soul Silver and Heart Gold. So my brother and I started like the Pokemon kind of thing that year a little bit. That was like pretty fun. Back
I don't
in
know
the
what
day.
you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't remember
What were
that
those
being a
things?
thing.
Something silver and heart and gold? What does
So-
that mean?
Pokemon. So
Break it down.
the second generation games were Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Gold.
Oh my
and
gosh, I
then
learned
like,
so much.
in like 2010, they re-released the games, but onto a newer system, onto the Nintendo DS.
Okay.
So me and my
Heard of
brother,
that.
my brother and I played that for like a whole year, and that was pretty fun. And then we got the Sacred Heart 17 to get into that. That was pretty fun.
Sounds like a great year.
Hey, Pokemon.
We I remember when Halo was real big.
Yeah.
And we had this thing at Auburn called Circuit where that was like the fall dry land
Okay.
program. So for 8 weeks or 10 weeks, you'd be doing a Tuesday circuit and a Saturday circuit. And the Saturday was a super long one. And at the end of the season, you'd have like a real big themed one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, it was the whole experience was a team building exercise thing, but it was definitely a like a test of will.
Okay.
So every year at the end of it, there would be something crazy, and I remember the reason Halo came up because our strength coach PK did a Halo themed one, and I didn't play Halo, so I didn't know what any of this stuff meant, but I remember like just things being named, like different exercises, different stations, and whatever being named
Sure.
for it. So we had
Halo
like
move or something
maybe we had like
Halo
the wall
reference.
sit of elongation.
What?
And
The wall set of elongation.
we had these like weird ones where we'd like run around in the basketball coliseum and grab huge medicine balls and chuck them like down the stairs, and that was symbolic of something in Halo. I have no idea. Yeah.
I didn't get into the first-person shooters that much as a kid. I
But-
was
but-
I was the weirdo that liked the RPGs, and yeah, that was me. Yeah.
I will say this. I think swimming, kind of forces some like individual game consoles or something, because you're at these meets like for how long as an age group? We're for like 10 hours.
Right.
I mean, I think in a probably never to be released episode, Brian and I talked about like things we did at swim meets growing up, and it was like playing card games, and then started doing bringing the big case of CDs and sharing CDs with people. You're just
Oh,
at these
yeah.
meets for like
Yeah.
10 hours, right? So you're so
I definitely
bored.
had to bring the big case of CDs.
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to bring on some age group coaches and talk about what kids are doing now at meets. Is it just phone games?
Phone games and iPad mostly.
I guess we just need to ask Justin. Baby Justin over here.
Well, that was my yeah.
That's what you did, phone games?
Yeah, in high school, it's like, because we had the iPhone come out, like, middle of high school, so phone games were the thing. Then when I was in college and I'd go home, I see, like, kids with, like, iPads and stuff. That was pretty interesting, too. Because, what was that? Angry Birds was, like, the big thing for a little while, so everyone played Angry Birds for quite a long time. And then, what was that running game where you just keep running? Oh, it's like, I can't remember the name of the game, so I skip on that, but... Yeah, phone games are kind of the thing right now, if I can, or at least in my few years ago, if I recall correctly.
Do people still wear parkas?
They still
Yeah,
wear
they
parkas.
do.
They still
It's
wear
definitely
parkas.
in California. Yeah.
They do in California for sure.
I never liked parkas.
What
so
blue?
I never wore parkas.
Carlene, my wife and I were talking about like swim meet snacks, and she was like shocked that I never had like ramen noodles growing
Oh,
up. on a
ramen
swim
noodles.
meet.
Yeah, instant
I've never had ramen
noodles.
noodles. Period.
What?
Ever? Still?
No, I mean you'd walk into the token dorm room
Still?
or college room, still, and you'd see
I'm
like
amazed.
a stack of ramen cups sitting there, and
Yeah.
I've seen them like 100
Forever, right?
a lot, but
Have you had like real ramen noodles? Not the cup noodles, but like sit
No.
down in a restaurant. Oh my goodness.
I'll take them out. I'll take them to Orenchi one of these days.
Absolutely.
But I guess just out here, everyone's so used to being outside in the cold, they'd be eating like warm noodles at swim meets and stuff. But like I'm sure all your meets were inside during the winter, right?
oh yeah, well everything's inside.
Yeah. Same in Ohio. So it's
Yeah.
like, we didn't have to be freezing in parkas. We were sitting around in shorts in the humid indoor pools.
Oh, we had Wade on the podcast. He was always the token guy carrying the big thing of goldfish.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have the goldfish. Yes.
But there's like always one person on every team who's carrying the goldfish.
Got to be.
Wade was the goldfish guy.
The goldfish guy.
I always brought combos.
All right.
What
What
are
is
They're
your
the,
favorite combo?
combos are like these little
Oh.
pretzel snacks with cheese, like not real cheese, but fake cheese in the middle.
Would you have just like the plain with the cheese in the middle, or because they had those pretzel ones too?
The
yeah.
pretzel
Okay,
ones.
now I know what
I
you're
get the
talking
pretzel ones with the cheese in
pretzel
the
ones
middle.
are good.
Yeah, that was my go-to swim snack.
Yeah. What did you eat at swim meets, Justin?
Cup noodles.
Yep, you're on the California
Cup
noodles,
noodles,
ramen noodles.
cup noodles, and that was the thing, man.
I'm still telling you, this walking tacos.
What?
I think it was this is one random like parent did them at our club.
Walking tacos?
Where it's just a bag of Fritos with chili and cheese put on top of the
That's
bag.
not a taco.
Yeah, there's nothing about taco with it, but that's fine. It was Ohio. They'd never heard of tacos.
Oh,
yet.
so you just like shake up the bag?
No, you just. You just mix it up with a fork and then you're eating it out of the bag.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard people do
It was
that.
good.
Yeah.
I've had it in maybe 20 years, but it was good.
That doesn't sound like swim meet food, but
I used to eat a hot dog before every event.
Some meets they had like the breakfast burrito that if you're in the morning. That was really good too.
That's true.
That was very good. The breakfast burrito is on point.
I remember a time where everybody thought that you needed to eat a power bar and drink a Gatorade
Oh,
before you
yeah.
go.
Powerade.
and then well, so like in college swimming, anybody who was timing the swimming meets, you had like the booster groups or clubs, usually a bunch of girls who are timing all the swim meets, and so part of the like, I don't know what the deal was. It was kind of like they got sorority credits for being a part of the club. So I don't know, but part of like earning it was that you would bring a gift on a weekly basis to the meets. So like the gift to the meets, we'd always like walk into our locker room and have a gift in the locker room. And if you got like a rockin' Tiger Splasher, you'd have some dudes got like a real big gift bag full of you name it, like food, like DVDs, all this stuff. I mean, it was
Damn.
crazy. And then
You said-
then the token thing was just like a Powerade and a power bar.
So, alright, let's back this up a little. This reminds me a little of like my recruiting trip to Tennessee where they had the Timettes, this group of girls that timed all their meets, walk around all the
Yeah,
recruits there.
same idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you said Tiger Splash?
Tiger Splashers.
Tiger
Tiger
Yeah, that's what it was called.
So,
yeah.
so Tiger Splashers
Uh-huh.
were a group of people that supported the team.
Yes.
And you got assigned one, and they gave you gifts?
Yeah, so on a
Right.
weekly basis, a Tiger Splasher was assigned a swimmer. Or
Must
they,
be nice.
or they had,
Yeah, no kidding.
or they had a
Must
draft.
be nice.
That was a Texas thing.
I know.
If they, maybe they had a draft. I don't know. I think
A
they
draft.
sometimes I think they chose, but yeah. And then you'd go to the meet. Like, so it would happen for a home meet or an away meet. So if it was a travel
nice.
meet, you'd get a gift in the locker like before
Yeah,
you
power
left
bar
the meet.
for the road.
Power
then.
bar,
Then you'd have a
Power
power
bar. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
power bar on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, power bars. God, they were such a staple.
Did you guys have a club like that at Purdue?
No, we didn't have anything like that.
Who timed at your meets?
I don't know.
Volunteers?
Yeah, we had volunteers.
Some volunteers. I really am unsure of who they were.
Yeah, we had volunteers, parents, because we were kind of connected to Tacoma Swim Club in the area. So I think a lot of the volunteers would go to that meet because you had to fill out volunteer hours for if you're on a club team. So I think a lot of the Tacoma Swim Club parents would actually go to our dual meets and just sit there. Just time.
Play their phone games?
Play their phone games too, actually.
Plays they're on iPhone 6s by then, Brian.
Oh, yeah, seriously. Yeah. No, yeah, I think at least most of the schools in the SEC had a program like that.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, like you said, that's how the trip to Tennessee was. They definitely had a
Yeah.
similar program there. So
Must be
doesn't
nice.
surprise me to have some Southern hospitality down there. But yeah, Purdue, we didn't really have anything like that. And I didn't really hear about it on any of my other trips to any of the other Big Ten or ACC schools I looked at.
What would you say was the biggest difference in some of the the schools that you were considering, given that it was somewhere in the Southeast, somewhere in the Big Ten?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think anything really stood out other than at that Tennessee trip. Having the group of 40 girls walk around 6 dudes on a recruiting trip, that definitely stood out as an interesting thing. So that was definitely different at Tennessee, having that going on. Good old JT knew how to figure out a good recruiting trip.
JT and the numbered letters.
There you go. I mean, nothing at NC State really stood out where it was that much different than, I don't know, just a regular recruiting trip. And then my rest of my recruiting trips were at the Big Ten. So I don't think anything else stands out where it's like, oh, this is definitely different because of where it is regionally. Anything stand out with your trips, Brian?
Well,
Are you only looking at SEC schools?
yeah, I was only looking at SEC schools, so everything's pretty much the same.
Was it just because you want to stay within the general area at the time?
I just wasn't nationally relevant.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
So Wade was a freshman at Texas, and I was trying to get recruited there, and I think he had already signed. I think Webergo had already signed at Texas, maybe, and so, and I was good in high school, I was state champion, but still not nationally,
Webergo
relevant.
was good in high school.
I didn't have national cuts, or I did by my senior year.
Okay.
But
But
I
you
had
were, kind of
but not when I was
late,
being
yeah.
recruited.
Right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
senior year was too late
Yeah.
back then, right?
Yeah, it's too late. So, I mean, I just remember snippets of things that stand out on every trip.
Yeah, definitely.
And
There's so much going on
Yeah.
them, right? And they're such a whirlwind when you're 17.
It's a crazy world,
Right.
and I mean, my understanding is recruiting has changed tremendously, and trips are. I mean, to be honest, trips used to be just like a drinking party.
Yeah.
A big party.
Right.
You know,
Big party.
you'd hang out, and I mean, not necessarily on the first night, but at least on
Saturday
it'd be
nights.
a big night, we're going out.
We're taking you with us.
Yeah, and I think that that's changed a lot
Yeah.
in the sport. A lot of I mean,
Yeah, I don't think a lot of programs
a
drink at
lot of
all.
programs have been
All
definitely
super
dry
dry,
recruiting for a while.
Yeah.
And now we've got a lot of programs that are just dry completely, which certainly much better for athletic performance.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think it's all about just making sure you're a good fit for the program, right? And there's different ways to go about it. And
you like the
certainly
people,
previously it was, you'd go to the party, you'd have a few drinks, or even not have a few drinks, but you're around people that are drinking and you get to know them. But there's other ways to get to know people and figure out if it's going to be a good fit for you. So I think it's overall a good move, a safe move, a smart move overall.
Yeah. Justin, what was the process like for you?
Emailed. Well, for me, it was just going for academics because I was not a good high school swimmer at all.
Okay.
But it was just I emailed, hey, it's if I get into your school, can I walk onto your team? And that was, and then I just took my and then I got into Puget Sound and had a meeting with Chris Meyer, who was nice enough to take me on the team, and the story continues.
Did a lot of coaches get back to you? Or what?
Actually, they were pretty timely about it too. They were
Alright.
really nice about it and got back. If you if you email back enough, they'd be nice enough to respond back to you. So I got super lucky in that regard. I was able to continue my career. I was definitely not a good swimmer at all, but I got super lucky.
Did you send like a video highlight reel
No,
of your races?
I just said, "Hi, I'm interested in your school."
Well, your brother doesn't he do videography? He could do a whole
No,
you know,
not at that
montage for
I don't
you.
think at that time he was really doing it that much. You just send in your times basically and just say, thanks for your time, sign out basically.
That's one of the easier things about swimming is it's objective. So you can
Right.
just like, okay, this guy's been these times. As long as they're legit, then then it's like, I mean, definitely there's talent involved, and you can scout what kids are going to be and look
Sure.
like based on how they swim and how
Absolutely.
they train and what kind of program they came from. But I mean, that's such a huge advantage for recruiting and swimming
absolutely.
over some
You don't
other
have to travel
sports
as
that have to
much,
have
yeah.
like scouts, or you have to get film and watch the film and.
But do you think swimming would be better if they did more kind of scouting and trying to go and learn more about these kids or watch their videos, or do you
I just don't think they have the budget for it.
Yeah.
one, they probably don't have the budget, but say you say, hey, send us your next meet, or send us like a practice video,
Yeah.
underwater video, like they could get that, right?
Yeah. Some
I mean,
coaches
would that help
do,
them?
Some coaches do fly out. I remember swimming for Tony's group. There would be coaches flying
Yeah,
out
I mean,
to
I had
watch.
a few
yeah.
coaches come to my practices
same.
and
Just
all
to see
that.
your practice,
Right.
how you practice actually, just to see if you're
Yeah.
actually a good fit.
Sure.
From what I remember, actually, like
I wish I remembered the actual workouts that happened when I had college coaches come to observe.
I do remember one time. Ben Ho had just recently. This is during my gap year. Ben Ho had just recently signed to Stanford. Shout out to Benny. But Ted Knapp showed up in the middle of our practice, and Tony wasn't there, and we had a. Well, I forget who was coaching us at the time, but we were definitely screwing around.
Tank?
No.
Tank,
Tank was not on staff. I think it was Kohei actually, and we were doing like stations, so we were all like kind of like, oh whatever, we could just take it easy. I had the corner of my eye because we've all seen Ted on the pool deck because we get to use the Stanford pool. I'm like, and Ben was in my station area, and I forget who else. It was Andrew Cho who swims at G-Dub now, and I'm like, hey Ben, isn't that Ted right over there walking in? He's like, guys, this isn't good. We all gotta focus now. I gotta look good. So he's like mid panic, and then Andrew Cho was chosen as our team leader for that senior group, and he goes, "All right, guys, let's keep it up." Blah blah blah. I just put on a facade.
I mean, that's got to be so different, like just
Yeah.
being in this area where, like, the Stanford coach or the Cal coach would
Yeah.
just show up,
Right.
right? They're
Yeah.
down here all the time
Right.
for meets or whatever. I mean, whenever I knew a coach was going to my town, like, I knew they were coming.
Oh, they were
in.
coming to town.
Yeah, for you, because
Yeah.
so it was like, oh, we're gonna be here. When's
Right.
your practice? Where the heck is it? All
Yeah.
that stuff is. And I think I remember a few sets that I used to do in the college. Like I know my high school coach would like definitely give me some sets to look good in. It was like repeat 75s off the block, which was like for whatever reason I could like rock 75s on 2 minutes, like just put some pretty impressive times down in practice.
That reminds me of A League of Their Own, where you've got that girl Marla Hooch who's like racking
Marla
homers
Hooch.
in the indoor gym.
Yep.
Like, now lefty, John.
Exactly. Boom. 75 fly. This is your game.
Brian, did that ever happen to you when you were getting recruited?
I don't remember what the actual sets were. I had some coaches come and watch practice, yeah. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember what we actually did that was noteworthy in
Yeah.
those sets. I remember just like them coming and sitting in my living room and,
Yeah, doing
I
that.
think, like,
conversation.
I think we had dinner, actually.
That's
Wow.
very weird.
I gotta ask my parents about this. I don't know if we had dinner, but I mean, it would make sense that we would have. I think we had dinner, and then we sat on the couch and we talked.
Yeah.
I remember I remember David Marsh, Anthony Nesty, doing that in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we never had dinner, but I remember sitting on the couch. I don't
It's
know
like a
what we.
stranger
I don't
at
even
your
know what we
house.
talked
Weird.
about,
Yeah.
but
I don't know.
awkward talks.
That's quite the art of maybe skill set in college coaches is to be able to manage those recruiting conversations. I mean, that's half the job.
big time.
Yeah.
If you can bring in the talent,
But to like
Let 'em know
live
we'll
that
take care of it.
recruiting period of the year, I mean, because you got like an onslaught in the period of the year that's like dead on.
Well, now they're
recruiting.
extending it
It's just-
for like years, right? So
Yeah.
now you have a little more
I don't
time to
know,
try and
man.
do that, but
And you're allowed to like visit even earlier nowadays.
yeah, but I mean, being able to make the parents comfortable, the kids comfortable, and
Yeah.
all that is a huge part of it.
How come football can offer a kid a scholarship? You know,
In the
offer a
club.
verbal to a 12-year-old. And like
Yeah,
swimming
now
camp.
that I think about it, that's
don't
very
know.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what allows.
How
these
come they
different
can't do
sports
that to
different
like the
things.
hotshot 12-year-old in swimming?
You would like to read about that on Swam and Swimming World? Is that
It
what
would
you're saying?
definitely
You wanna
be on.
read
It
more
would
about
definitely
that?
be on all these
12-year-old
You'd be reading
super
it all.
duper star from the middle of nowhere. Signs to
Brian would be
Division
all
One
about
school.
He'd get the kid's face on his T-shirt, all types of stuff.
Oh, and then they have to do the hat selection at 12 years old too.
Hat selection.
I'm in favor of the cap selection.
Let's see it.
We're gonna put the swim cap on.
We want to see this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is the kid gonna fumble with the cap though? Dry hair cap could get a little
Yeah.
dicey.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
No.
well, I guess we can maybe end with that, right?
Yeah.
We'll leave this as a challenge to everyone.
who's gonna do it?
Who's gonna be the first to do the cap
I'm
selection?
sure it's already been done.
If it
I'm pretty
has,
sure.
But I want to see it live
On the-
streamed on one of these swimming sites.
we want to see a name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see a name. Just like own it. This, you know,
Someone
just take the world
like a Foster
over.
Yeah.
or one of the like someone at that type of
Yeah,
level.
yeah, exactly.
Someone who's
That'd be
like,
great.
Okay.
I'm taking my talents to
I wanna-
X and O.
I want to see what teams they put down. Say it's like
The
they're-
announcement,
Yeah, exactly.
and they'll make like a promo video before it.
So it's like some epic promo.
Maybe
video.
they're
Yeah,
like-
some
maybe they-
montage of like behind the block shots.
them like holding caps and like stretching them out.
like fake celebrations
Yeah.
in the practice pool.
I want to see
Oh
like
my
5
God.
caps on the table. They're like
This is
pick one
gonna
up,
be great.
toss it across the room,
I love this. All right,
Behind your
throw
shoulder.
one in the
yeah.
trash.
we're doing
Rip it
All
away.
right,
well-
somebody's doing it. I want to see it.
All right, well, let's see it out there, everyone. So if you are gonna be getting recruited here soon and you want to do the announcement,
Don't just be the token smiling picture on all the swimming sites. Do something original.
Oh my goodness.
build your brand, kids. All right, it's been real.
Adios.
Signing off.